Hello friends, this is Pallavi. In this session we are going to discuss about the historical agricultural reforms, the three farm bills that has been recently passed by the two houses of the parliament, and we'll also see why there was so much opposition to these bills. We'll go a little back. So amid the COVID-19 crisis, in order to revive the economy, a series of steps were announced under Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. So these steps included financial support as well as reforms in different sectors of the economy. Also there was a liquidity injection by the RBI. Now under the reforms in different sectors of the economy, it also talked about reforms in agriculture and allied sector. Three ordinances related to agriculture sector was promulgated on 5th June 2020. The aim of these reforms or these ordinance in the agriculture sector was broadly transformation of agriculture sector and raising farmers' income and livelihood status. So now the three bills corresponding to these farm ordinances have been passed by the two houses of the parliament in September 2020. So let's see the three bills on agricultural reforms. The first one is the Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce Promotion and Facilitation Bill 2020. The second one is the Farmers Empowerment and Protection Agreement of Price Assurance and Farm Services Bill 2020. And the third one is Essential Commodities Amendment Bill 2020. We'll go into the details of each of these three bills, but let's quickly try to understand that what these three bills are about. The first one says Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce Promotion and Facilitation Bill 2020. It says farmers produce, that is agricultural output or agriculture produce. So this bill talks about the trade and commerce of agricultural output, how and where it will take place, and it talks about the promotion and facilitation of agricultural output, final output, how it has to be traded. This is basically about agricultural markets, one nation, one agriculture market. The second one is the Farmers Empowerment and Protection Agreement of Price Assurance and Farm Services Bill 2020. So this bill is about the agreement. What kind of agreement? Agreement of Price Assurance and Farm Services Bill. So this bill talks about the agricultural contracts which would empower as well as protect the farmers. And the third one, Essential Commodities Amendment Bill 2020. This is an amendment to Essential Commodities Act 1955, under which certain commodities are designated as essential commodities, and so there is certain restrictions over their stock piling and hoarding of these commodities. So what amendments have been made to this act, we'll see. Now let's take up these bills one by one in detail. The first one being the Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce Promotion and Facilitation Bill 2020. Background. The wholesale agricultural marketing in India is undertaken, or we can say it is established and regulated under the APMC Act. APMC Act is Agricultural Produce and Market Committees Act, which is made by the respective state governments for their states. Now there are several restrictions under this act for farmers who want to market their produce. The restrictions includes restriction in terms of selling agricultural produce outside the notified APMC market yards, restrictions in terms of selling the produce only to the registered licensees of state governments, and also there are barriers in free flow of agriculture produce between different states of the country. Earlier, perishable items like fruits and vegetables were taken out of the ambit of APMC Act, but still the provisions of APMC Act was not being implemented in true sense because of limited number of traders in APMC market, cartelization of traders, and several other problems are there. So now we have realized the importance of liberalization of agricultural markets, and this particular bill is in the direction to develop competitiveness in the agricultural market system of India. Let's see the main provisions under the Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce Promotion and Facilitation Bill 2020. The first one being, the new legislation will create an ecosystem where the farmers and traders, that is both farmers, sellers and buyers, they will enjoy the freedom of choice of sale and purchase of agri produce. Next one is, it will also promote barrier free interstate as well as intrastate trade and commerce outside the physical premises of markets notified under the state agriculture produce and market legislation. That is, it's in the direction of one India, one agriculture market. The bill also proposes an electronic trading and transaction platform for ensuring a seamless trade electronically. So here we are talking about an online virtual trading platform for agricultural markets. Next one is, in addition to mandis, that is traditional agricultural mandis under APMC Act, in addition to that, the farmers will also have the freedom to do trading at farm gate, cold storage, warehouses, processing units, etc. So the farmers will be able to engage in direct marketing, thereby eliminating intermediaries, resulting in full realization of price. Also, the farmers will not be charged any cess or levy for the sale of their produce, as it is under the APMC Act, and they will not have to bear any transportation cost. Okay, so we have seen the provisions under the first bill. Now we'll try to understand that what are the points that the opposition is putting forward, and also we'll see that what clarification is given by the government regarding the same. The first doubt is the procurement at minimum support price will stop. So here we are talking about the MSP. So would the system of MSP would stop? No, the procurement at MSP will not stop. In fact, procurement at minimum support price will continue, and farmers can sell their produce at MSP rate as before. In fact, only after the passage of bill in Rajya Sabha, the MSP for Rabi season has been announced. The next doubt is, if these farm produce is allowed to be sold outside the traditional APMC mandis, then these mandis will stop functioning. The clarification is, mandis will not stop functioning. Trading will continue here also as before. Under the new system, farmers will have the option to sell their produce at other places in addition to the mandis. Next doubt is, what will be the future of government electronic trading portal like ENAM, that is Electronic National Agriculture Markets. For this, the government says that ENAM trading system will also continue in the mandis. In fact, trading in farm produce will increase on electronic platform, and it will result in greater transparency and time saving. Now let's move on to the second bill, the Farmers Empowerment and Protection Agreement on Price Assurance in Farm Services Bill 2020. Now please note here that the first bill that we have discussed, Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce Bill, that is basically about agricultural markets. That is, we are talking about the post-harvest stage of agricultural produce. Now in this bill we will talk about the pre-harvest stage, or we can say even before the sowing of crops in the field. This is basically about framing of agreements prior to production of farm produce. Background: the Indian agriculture is characterized by the fragmentation due to small holding sizes, and also it has certain weaknesses such as weather dependence, production uncertainties and market unpredictability. All these makes agriculture a very risky and inefficient business in respect of both input as well as output management. Let's look at the major provisions under the Farmers Empowerment and Protection Agreement on Price Assurance and Farm Services Bill 2020. The first one, the new legislation will empower farmers for engaging with the processors, wholesalers, aggregators, large retailers, exporters, etc. on a level playing field. So here we are talking about agricultural contracts with them. Price assurance will be given to the farmers even before sowing of crops. In case of higher market price, farmers will be entitled to this price over and above the minimum price. This will transfer the risk of market unpredictability from the farmer to the sponsor or the other party in the agreement. Due to prior price determination, farmers will be shielded from the rise and fall of market prices. This will also enable the farmers to access modern technology, better seeds and other inputs. It will reduce the cost of marketing and improve the income of the farmers. In addition to this, it will also give impetus to the research and development and new technology in agricultural sector. Another provision is an effective dispute resolution mechanism has been provided for with clear timelines for its redressal. Now we have seen the provisions of this bill, the farmers agreement on price assurance and farm services. Now let's come to the points that is being raised by the opposition. What are the doubts and also the clarification that is being given by the Government of India. The first doubt is under contract farming, that is the agreement between the farmers and the other party, the farmers will be under the pressure and they will not be able to determine the prices. For this, the government says that the farmers will have full power in the contract to fix a sale price of his choice for the produce, and they will receive the payment for the same within maximum 3 days. But then how effectively can a small farmer will be able to negotiate? That is, how will small farmers be able to practice contract farming? Sponsors will shy away from them. Now here, thousands of farmers producer organization, that is FPOs, are being formed throughout the country. So these FPOs will bring together small farmers. So basically it's a group of, or it's an organization of farmers, and they will work to ensure that the farmers get remunerative prices for their farm produce. The next doubt that is being raised is, will this new system of contract farming will be a problem for the farmers? The clarification on this is, after signing the contract, the farmer will not have to seek out the trader. The purchasing consumer will have the duty to pick up the produce directly from the farm. Another doubt is that in case of any dispute between the two parties, the big companies will be at an advantage. On this, the bill has a provision that in case of dispute, there will be no need to go to the courts repeatedly. There will be a local dispute redressal mechanism. Now let's move on to the third bill on agricultural reforms, the Essential Commodities Amendment Bill 2020. This being an amendment to the Essential Commodities Act, let us first see what is Essential Commodities Act 1955. The Essential Commodities Act 1955 was enacted to control the production, supply and distribution of and trade and commerce in certain goods such as vegetables, pulses, edible oil, sugar, etc. considered as essential commodities. So basically under this act, certain agricultural commodities were declared as essential commodities, and this act made rules and regulations to regulate the production, supply and distribution as well as trade and commerce of these essential commodities. The aim was to ensure affordability of essential commodities for the poor by restricting hoarding. So by putting limits on the stockpiling of these essential commodities, it was hoped that the prices will not rise, it will restrict hoarding, and so these commodities, these essential commodities will be available at affordable prices. Now, why there is a need for an amendment to Essential Commodities Act? So over a period of time, while India has become a surplus in most agricultural commodities, still the farmers are not able to get better prices for their produce. This is basically due to lack of investment in post-harvest stage, that is in cold storage, warehousing, processing units and export-oriented business. Also the entrepreneurial spirit of those engaged in this sector gets dampened due to Essential Commodities Act. And the farmers also suffer huge losses when there are bumper harvests, especially of perishable commodities, because of stockholding limits. According to the Economic Survey 2019-20, the Essential Commodities Act has resulted into agricultural market distortions. So there are stockpiling limits which is applicable to entire agricultural supply chain, and the unpredictability and the frequency of the imposition of stock limits have actually de-incentivized the investment in post-harvest stage, basically in warehousing and storage facility, and overall it has discouraged the entry of large private players in the agricultural markets. So this has led to weakening of development of agricultural value chain. It has inhibited the development of vibrant commodities derivative agricultural market. It has reduced producers' profit, and also it has reduced the incentive to invest in storage. So all in all, we can say that overall it has resulted into increased price volatility and reduced the consumer welfare, opposite of what Essential Commodities Act was intended for. Now let's see the provisions of Essential Commodities Amendment Bill 2020. The main provisions include: the first one being, the bill seeks to remove the commodities like cereals, pulses, oilseeds, edible oil, onion and potatoes from the list of essential commodities. This will remove the fears of private investors of excessive regulatory interference in their business operations. This freedom to produce, hold, move, distribute and supply will lead to the harnessing of economies of scale and will attract private sector and FDI into the agricultural sector in India. Thus, this legislation will help drive up the investment in cold storage and will lead to the modernization of food supply chain. This in turn will create a competitive market environment and also prevent wastage of agricultural produce that happens due to the lack of storage facilities. All in all, it will help both farmers and consumers while bringing in price stability. So this was all about the three landmark and historical bills on agricultural reforms of 2020. This is certainly a watershed movement for agricultural sector in general and for the Indian economy overall. These reforms have been conceived boldly for the liberalization of agricultural sector, especially the agricultural markets in the Indian economy. We'll have to wait and see that how effective would be the implementation part of these reforms. So that was all for today's session. You can supplement this session with another video which I have made on agricultural price policy, where I have discussed about MSP, issue price, procurement price and certain other institutions related to agricultural prices. I will be providing the link for the same in the comment section, and I hope you have liked this video. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe and have a very nice day. Thank you very much.